This video is brought to you by Optimus. Thank you for being a farm baron. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another new and noteworthy mod review. Today we're going to take a look at controlled traffic farming. What does that mean? Basically, this mod introduces soil compaction into Farm Sim 19. So back in Farm Sim 17, toward the end, Realismus Modding was working on a soil compaction mod. This is not it. This is something different. But it does bring soil compaction back to the game. And let's just hope that this becomes part of precision farming and also part of Farm Sim 22. So the way this works is any vehicle greater than 6.5 tons driving over your field will cause soil compaction. At that point, the only way to get rid of the compacted soil is to use a plow or a subsoiler. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to demonstrate that we're going to have tractors that do and don't cause compaction. For example, we're going to spray our field with this T6. It is small enough and light enough that it will not compact the soil. Then we're going to get our crop ready to harvest. Use our big Massey Ferguson harvester here. And we're going to harvest the field. And we're going to demonstrate that everywhere that the tires touch the ground, we will have a need plow state. Therefore, we will have soil compaction. But areas where the tires do not hit the ground, there will be no soil compaction. We're going to be using this tractor here, the Optum, to unload our harvester. Again, it is big and heavy. It will cause soil compaction. We're then going to flip the field with our Puma, which itself is also too heavy and causes soil compaction. But we're going to make use of this 4-meter cultivator to rid our field of soil compaction by basically subsoiling where the tires have been. We're going to use our larger cultivator to cultivate the rest of the ground. And then we're going to use our Case Magnum to replant our field. And once again, the Magnum is small enough that it will not cause soil compaction. So in the very end, we will have harvested our field, have caused some compaction, we'll have gotten rid of that, and we have flipped our field ready for the next crop. So let's go ahead and kind of demonstrate this. What we're going to do is we're going to be driving our tractor here across the field. As we do that, check our information panel, go to need plowing, and you notice this field does not need plowing. Okay, we are not having little yellow lines back here showing us where our tires have been. Ignore the fact that we're not putting fertilizer down. My test map, it is clearly in a weird state at the moment. Now, we're going to want to avoid soil compaction. You wouldn't be turning on the field like this because that would be excessive driving on the field. But since we have a light tractor here that is not causing soil compaction, we don't need to worry too much about it. Now let's read some more of the description as we finish this out. Controlled traffic farming is a management tool that is used to limit the soil compaction caused by heavy or repeated machinery passes over the land. This mod soil compaction is simulated by applying a plowing requirement. Heavy vehicles have been driven. Again, those are vehicles over 6.5 tons. To get the most out of this mod, it is recommended that you adopt a CTF system on your farm. Controlled traffic farming is CTF. For maximum efficiency, your sprayer should be at least 3 times the working width of your other equipment. Okay, and that is because then your sprayer, if it's big enough and causes compaction, is going to be putting compaction tires, lines basically in the field. And then when you come back through with, let's say, your planter, okay, that is maybe half or double, double the working width of your harvester, then basically you'll be putting in, hopefully, a tram line every other tram line, and you'll be basically driving on the sprayer's lines as well as creating its own compaction every other one. And then your harvester will come through and basically it will compact the soil again. It will compact the soil where the sprayer was, but it will also compact the soil where the planter was, and then it will compact the soil again where nothing has been. And then you'll come through and unload the harvester. Trailer here, you want to make sure the trailer can reach at least the next pass that the harvester is driven down, again to minimize additional driving on the field and compaction. And then you'll come through with a subsoiler to basically try to erase all of that compaction. Let's go here and basically get this set up to harvest. Now we have ready to harvest. Still does not need plowing, so it is not compacted. We saw that before advanced the crop, so it wasn't because we advanced the crop that we negated that. Go ahead and turn on this and start harvesting our field. And I will hire a helper. I'll demonstrate that. And what we now see is, there we have 2 little lines. That is soil compaction right there from our tires. And you do see that even the hired helper is causing compaction. So that is important to note, because you know how hired helpers are. Get to the end of the field, they may drive all over the darn thing and cause some pretty major compaction here towards the end of the fields. And if you're trying to get rid of that compaction, then it's going to take you a while to do that because of just the mangled mess they have made. Now, soil compaction does reduce crop yield by 30%. So it has been increased from the base game of, I believe, 10%. You see the mangled mess that he's going to be making. All of this reversing. Look at all that mess. And as he continues on, I'm going to be putting more marks in the soil, basically with every pass. See that mess right there? So obviously, it's best if you turn off the field. That way you do not have that royal mess at the end of each field. What I'm going to go ahead and do is cut the recording here and let this guy advance a little bit. We have some more crop harvested, and we'll offload, kind of demonstrate that we are kind of compacting the soil more as we offload our crop. And then we'll work on basically getting the field prepped for our next planting. So we've got the field harvested now. If we take a look at our lines, you can see that I kind of did the last few passes. Drove straight off the field, turned around and came back on. We don't have this mangled mess here on the ends. And now we need to offload our harvester. So ideally what you want to do is you're going to want to come in and straddle where the harvester previously was to offload, and hopefully your pipe and your harvester will reach. Because at that point, see, we've done a little bit more damage where we've now driven our trailer. We don't have thin lines. We've got a big, thick pass here. And then what we want to do when we're done is drive this straight off the field. Don't want to turn and drive over the rest of the field, because again, it will compact where we have driven. So we want to drive straight. I'm going to turn just for demonstration purposes. Like, okay, let's go ahead and down here the road and off to a sell point, right? See what happened. Oh, what did we do? Just compacted all that dirt. Now, how do we get rid of the compaction? That's where our subsoiler is going to come in. And unlike base game, okay, you don't have to subsoil the entire field. You only have to subsoil where the lines are. We only have to subsoil where the tractor is driven, the harvester is driven. See, we are now erasing for the most part our compaction with the subsoiler. Okay, we're still in a harvested state across the field, other than where we have used our subsoiler, but we are in essence erasing that compaction that was caused by our harvester. Come up here and at this point we're going to try to erase both of those undoings right there, our harvester pass and our trailer pass, for the most part, is being erased. And then if we had a planter or seeder that allowed direct planting, then in essence just plant the field, and we would have erased our compaction. What's nice about the subsoiler here is we can, of course, attach a larger tool to the back of this cultivator. Now, forget the fact that it's dangling down here, but the fact that this one isn't that much wider than the subsoiler. But at any rate, now we can basically subsoil our entire compaction way and then cultivate the greater part of the field. Of course, my working widths are not set up right in order to fully demonstrate this concept, but I hope you're catching on. I hope you're catching on. We've basically erased now compaction there. Just to show you, demonstration purposes, this tractor is too heavy and will cause compaction on its own. As you can see right there. Okay, even if we drop all of these implements and give a little donut, it is still too heavy. Okay. Now, let's pretend we've completely erased all of our compaction. Completely prepped our field. Okay. Now we can come in, theoretically, with a smaller tractor. This Maxim. Do have normal tires, which do cause crop destruction. Okay. What's up? Think about the weight. Just trying to get an extreme example here. So, clearly, this planter doesn't do cultivation, so we don't have direct planting. But what you can see and what I'm wanting to demonstrate is we are now planting our field back, but we're not putting additional compaction lines onto the field because we are now planting with a lighter piece of machinery. So in the end, if you select your machinery and size it properly, you can, one, minimize the amount of compaction on your fields as a result of driving on it, and two, end up being able to prepare your fields and have your fields ready to rock and roll, planted, fertilized, and ready for full harvest with zero compaction. So the first time you actually compact your soil is when you put the harvester into the field. Guys, I hope that helped clear up controlled traffic farming and introduce the concept of soil compaction to you with respect to Farm Sim 19. And until next time, happy farming.